Welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Sorry, I'm a little bit late getting started. I think a minute late or so. But today I was thinking that instead of doing a market commentary or anything, let's go directly into technical analysis. That way we would be able to do more on the charts. And also on the charts, we'll keep the speculations to the minimum and only do those charts where we think we have a clear idea of what is happening. When I say we, I mean me and my limited knowledge of technical analysis. And that will allow us to take a few symbols that you might want to have a look at, and we could probably do technical analysis on those. The main thing that I want to talk about which I'm in the process of making a video. Hi, good morning, Inf. Thanks for joining. The main thing I want to do is I have already made a script, and I'm going to do a video on the Tesla compensation issue. I think it's the most grotesque thing that we have witnessed, and Tesla's market cap as of today is around 1.5 trillion, and they have given him a salary of 1 trillion package. What is left for the shareholders, and why do shareholders vote for this, despite the fact that large institutional investors have warned against it? So that's a separate video. Let's get started with our technical analysis today. Let's go on and have a look. Oh, that's not the one. Here we are. Okay, so I would like to go to the TradingView platform. Inf is saying critical supports failing hard. Exactly, that's what is happening. So let's go to S&P 500 futures. I'm just going to recalibrate the chart so that we can see it much better. So as you can see here, we were not able to cross this line of resistance. And yes, I mean, if everybody votes for the package, that still doesn't mean that everybody is right. I mean, 1 trillion pay package on a company with a market capital of 1.5 trillion. Compare that with Jensen Huang, 4.5 trillion. Compare that with Microsoft. Compare that with Apple, right? Steve Jobs might have been a genius, but if you look at what's happening right now, you don't see Tim Cook getting that kind of a salary like Elon Musk is commanding. Is he that kind of a genius? I think not. Plus, his brand toxicity has brought down sales in many critical markets. Might be an entry on 10% Celsius soon. Yes, let us check that out. Let's go to the... So, Hot Dog, I was saying that no more pre-market commentary, just going to technical analysis, and that too only in charts where we have some clear idea of what is happening. So let's start off with S&P 500. We have this diagonal line of resistance, which I'm going to extend further. I'm saying that this line of resistance is going to keep on giving us resistance unless we break through about that. So that's one parameter. The second resistance has been this horizontal line of resistance, which we have confirmed under. This is today's candle, 7th November. So if we close below 6,739.00, I think we are going to confirm this line of resistance, the horizontal line of resistance. And right now, our support for today is going to be around 6,665.50. So this is our support, this diagonal line of support, which is a variable line of support. And you can see market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is below average. All of that indicates that the turn has come, the trend reversal has happened. And now my shorts are starting to look much better. NQ, Nasdaq futures. Nasdaq futures has also broken down below a key resistance of 25,211.75. And we want to see if tomorrow's candle can confirm it. Our support for today is going to be 24,830. As you can see, market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is also below average. So all the bearish divergences that we had seen before were really good warnings, and we are starting to mend. The one thing I don't know is, when do you say that the bearish divergence has been neutralized, and when does the divergence start to become bullish? That twilight zone is not clear, but if the divergence becomes bullish, I can identify that. So I'm going to leave it at that. Right now we are looking bearish. We have dollar index, which is up 0.06. And oh, sorry to hear that. VIX is up 5.08%, and we are seeing a steady improvement in VIX. There was a play that I was talking about, buying VVX. I didn't have the guts to do it because I was already shorting so much. I didn't want to be caught on the other end as well. So I didn't go for VXX, but if I had, I mean, we were talking about that from 27th of October. If I had bought it, then I would have made some really good money. But that would have been a very, very risky gambit in my opinion. Let's go on to have a look at gold. Now gold is showing some really good resilience, and if gold confirms above, if gold closes above 3,984, then I think that we would have reconfirmed this support, and we are looking at breaking above this resistance. Today the resistance is going to be for us at around 4,039.77. That's our resistance. Once we break above and confirm above that, then we can start looking at tackling this horizontal line of resistance coming from the parallel channel from before. But overall, I think that gold is likely to pick up, because as quantitative easing starts happening, the value of the dollar is going to go down, and you can also see that the DXY is going down. So all that is positive for gold. Market sentiment is still bearish. MACD is bearish. Momentum is just above average. I think that I would stick with the gold that I have already bought. I'm going to wait to see if we have a decisive move upwards. If we break above this horizontal line of resistance, I would probably do a little bit more dollar cost averaging. Put call ratio is looking moderately bullish. I mean, it's neutral to slightly bullish because it's at 0.82. And if we look at indicators, let's just go and look at our indicator limits for today. We first saw the futures. Now in terms of indicators, I think that we are definitely moving on the downwards. Market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum has dropped below average. All three of them are bearish signals. And also I think for today the support for us is going to be 6,651.68. That's our support. At least gold, I know that it's going to be consolidating, but silver I don't know, because it has got a lot of industrial uses. We'll see the silver chart also. I'll try to use PSLV or something like that to do a analysis, and if I find any patterns, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll say that I don't know about it. So S&P 500 definitely is looking bearish. Nasdaq is down 1.91% as of yesterday, and today I think we'll have to see if we can break out above the support of 25,201.68, which was breached yesterday. If not, then this becomes a resistance. I'm not going to mark it a resistance as yet, but if we manage to close below 25,086, this resistance at 25,201 will be confirmed, and I'm thinking that there's a good possibility it may happen today. I also want to pull out this parallel channel. This parallel channel has been coming with us for a while. So the parallel channel is going to provide support at 25,012. It's going to provide us support at 25,017.72 today. So that's the verdict for Nasdaq. QQQ is down 0.49% in pre-market trading. It has fallen below the midpoint of this parallel channel. So the midpoint now becomes a resistance as well, and we will likely get a support somewhere around 604.90. Let me just put a line out here. This is one of the supports that we might find. I'll just pull it across to show the touch points that we have. This will be a minor line of support, and if we bounce off this, well and good. If not, we are in trouble. And our market sentiment is almost neutral. MACD is bearish. Momentum is just about to fall below average. Now, if you look at Genomics, let's go to AI first. NVDA is down 1.24%. NVDA is definitely looking bearish. Our first support for today is going to be 185.46. Right now we are at 185.74. Not too far away from that. It depends where we open. if we open at this level, I think we have to look for a bounce off. And if we don't get a bounce off, we could be in a bit of trouble. Now, I'm going to do the count also, which I picked up from another channel where I see technical analysis from time to time. And one of the things I picked up is that if your support has been breached more than 4 times, then the odds of breaking down are more than 50%. So we have dipped below this and been pushed back once, twice, thrice, 4 times, and 5 times. So if we come here, the chances of us breaking down is more than 50%. I would say maybe we have a 60% chance of breaking down. So we'll see whether that happens or not today. That's the key for NVIDIA. And where NVIDIA goes, it's going to take the entire AI sector along with it. And that would mean SMH, and SMH has a big drag on the index. Let's look at Meta. Meta is down 0.46%. And we are continuing our bearish descent. I had hoped that we'll get a little bit of a dead cat bounce. We caught that, and then we are back down again. So we are bouncing along the bottom. We are scraping the bottom, as they say. Market sentiment is extremely bearish. MACD is also very bearish. I think that we are going to consolidate down here, moving downwards, consolidating a little, moving downwards, consolidating a little. So today, if we open in the negative, I would be looking at whether we close below 618.90. If we close below 618.90, that means that the dead cat bounce has not been able to manifest itself. Then I would look for the dead cat bounce the next day. That's the way I'm looking at it. The drops may not be as big as we have seen so far, but the drops may become like smaller red candles, and we could potentially see some kind of a consolidation. That's what I'm looking forward to in case of Meta. If you go to Google, it's down 0.86. Google is one of the better shares. I'm not throwing in the towel yet for Google, but it has opened below yesterday's close, and that's not a good look. We still have great market sentiment. MACD is also bullish, and momentum is also pretty strong, and we have a lot of room on RSI. So with Google, I would say we'll look forward to some more consolidation, but definitely we are not seeing a breakout on the bull flag out here. So I think more of a neutral sentiment for Google from my side. Amazon is down 0.72% in pre-market trades. We have a support at 242.02, and pre-market action indicates that we are going to open below that. So if this becomes a resistance, then I would like to see where the candle ends. We have got a huge gap up that happened that needs to be filled. This gap up, let me just quantify it for you very quickly. This gap up was 6.86%. Now we have filled up a little bit of that here, and we still have plenty to be filled up. So I think that if you look at where we are from here to the gap up position, we need to see a drop of another 5.7% for Amazon. It could happen in one day or it could happen in multiple days, but that's what we are looking at when it comes to Amazon. So I would say that we would probably look at some kind of a support when we approach 231.79. That is the first support that I can see. Market sentiment is still bullish. MACD is bullish but tending towards the signal line, and momentum is dropping very rapidly, tending towards the average. So Amazon doesn't look that great right now. Apple is down 0.14% in pre-market trades. It will definitely get some support at 264.65 today. Market sentiment, though bullish, is now waning towards neutral. MACD is ready to cross over the signal line into the bearish side. However, momentum still remains elevated. We have to look at what happens post-dividend. There could be a little bit of hanging around for the dividend, which is going to happen on the 10th of November. Right now we are on the 7th, so Monday we could probably see some action where we may test this support. Now Microsoft is down 0.28% in pre-market trades. It has already dropped below the support of 498.18, which I'm going to proceed to mark as a resistance. Today we have opened below it, but if we close below 497.07, I'm going to say that this line of resistance is confirmed, which means if we hit it once, we are going to be pushed back down. If it doesn't get confirmed, then if we hit it, there's a very good probability that we are going to go back up again, because that will still be a confirmed support. It's not a confirmed resistance, and we'll have to see if we can confirm it today. Momentum is below average, but it has not gone down to the drop, to the very depths, so that I can say that there's going to be a dead cat bounce on count of momentum. But when you look at the market sentiment, it's already bearish, but it has not gone as low as it has in the past. So there is still room for the market sentiment to drop. MACD is also bearish, and I don't see a dead cat bounce yet, but I might probably look at a smaller candle out here, maybe a bit of consolidation sideways for Microsoft before dropping further. I think there is also a good amount of support at 494.93, which is where we bounced back before. I'm just going to put this line out here, which is going to be a minor line of support. It's at 494.93. So I'm going to keep it there, 494. Yeah, 494.93. Yeah, this is the line. So this is where we are likely to bounce back up. Then we have Tesla. Tesla is down 0.88%. The big question I have is whether the huge sovereign wealth funds who advised against the executive pay package, are they going to start selling? And if they start selling, they're not going to dump everything at once. They're going to try to preserve value. So if the selling pressure starts mounting, we already have bearish sentiment in the market. We have MACD, which is bearish, and momentum that is almost ready to drop to the neutral. If the market loses interest in Tesla, then I think we'll see the stock price coming down. We already have a double top. We also have all these indicators showing a negative bias, and pre-market we are down 1%. So I think that the time probably has come for Tesla to test this support out here, which also happens to be, in my opinion, the triggering point for the double top. So that's how I'm thinking. Let me refine this further. Let me put a trigger point for the double top somewhere out here. Okay, so where is the line? Oh, here we are. So I'm going to take a line from here, and I would say that the actual trigger point has to be 411.76, and this is a minor line of support. I'm just going to fine tune it a little bit, and the minor line of support for today is 419.85, and the trigger point for the double top is going to be 411.76. So I'm bearish on Tesla. Oracle is down 1.31, still very closely following this diagonal line of resistance all the way down. The question is, can it take a support from 241.50? And we have already got the answer. Pre-market we are at 240.47. So 241 now becomes a line of resistance. Let us see how the candle ends, and we'll revisit this tomorrow. Overall, everything is bearish for Oracle at this point of time. AMD is down 2.19%, and as I speak it has gone down to 2.26%. It has fallen below the line of support of 236.51. Right now it is at 232.45. It's going to open gap down, and that's not a very good look. We still have a bull flag out here, which was kind of forming, and we have fallen below 50% of that. So it's already confirmed that we are into a bearish trend. I want to see any more patterns emerge out here which can say that we are going bullish or bearish further, because we can't fall straight down. But AMD is starting to show a whole lot of weakness. The bearish divergence has come to play, and also the market sentiment is rapidly going towards neutral. MACD is already severely bearish. The only saving grace is that the momentum is still above average, but I suspect when the market opens, we'll find that the momentum has also fallen below average. So all of that shows that we may come for a gap fill out here. There's a huge gap up that we witnessed, and we are probably marching towards that. SMCI is down 0.66% in pre-market trades, and we have confirmed our resistance at 42.80. It's a confirmed resistance now. All the indicators are negative, so I think we are going to fall down further. I would like to come up with a line of support that we may probably want to look at, and that line of support is at 40. Let me open this up. 40.05. We are at 40.09, just above this. So this is going to be our first line of support for today. And if we break down below that, then I'm thinking that we are going to see, let me remove this and put a proper line of support. And I'm going to say that the next line of support is going to be at 38.85 for SMCI. So I might like to pick up a little bit of SMCZ today and try to get some gains out of that. So that's what I'm looking at. I would like it, however, to break down below 40.05. Before I do that, pre-market it's talking about 40.05. So I think time is right for me to buy SMCZ in the pre-market session. Broadcom is down 0.82% in pre-market session. It has got support at around 348.66. Right now we're at 352.66. Everything out here is bearish in the indicators. Palantir is down 1.34% in pre-market session, and it has come out of this parallel channel. That's a very big move, and we are going to get resistance at 174.89 going forward, and all the indicators are bearish. The trend reversal has already arrived. SMH is likely to open below yesterday's close. That itself is bearish, and we have a support out here. This was the gap up point, so we are going to have at least a little bit of support at around 344.49. That's going to be our support, and if we fall below that, then the next support is likely to be at 336.82. So let us leave it at this right now. The bearish divergence has come to bear, and also we have market sentiment which is almost close to neutral. MACD is very bearish, and momentum, I am thinking, will be below average when the market opens. Tempus AI, this is what Hot Dog was talking about. There could be potential entry points for Tempus AI. So we could probably see some dead cat bounce, but maybe a little bit of consolidation today because momentum is not already at 30. So if momentum comes down and RSI is at 30 and below, I would say that we are looking at a dead cat bounce coming up. In the market sentiment, we have been much lower than where we are right now, so market sentiment can drop further. MACD is also dropping. It's become more bearish, but in the past we have gone further down on MACD, so there is more for Tempus AI to go down. So I would say small red candles coming up out here, even though we had this huge drop, but I don't see a dead cat bounce as yet. And there is something called as a delta between the market and the stock. So if the overall market is also going down, Tempus AI might probably form a smaller red candle instead of a green candle. That's my personal opinion. Hot Dog, please let me know what you think. And we are looking at Celsius holding, which is what I was thinking was going to be a big opportunity, but unfortunately this huge cup and handle is not coming into fruition, and we have further dropped, and we still have a support at 41.32. I'm going to mark this as green. So I'm going to look at this support helping us to bounce back. So we are going to see another red candle today for Celsius Holdings. Apart from that, I don't want to talk about anything else in the AI segment. I would like to go and look at Genomics because that's where a whole lot of our viewers are interested in. Let us look at Prime. Prime, market sentiment bearish, MACD bearish, momentum below average, and the only thing that is the saving grace for Prime today is going to be this support at 3.89. We are right now at 3.99. So I think we are on a downward trend. Intelia is down 27.49%. Earnings, revenue is down 2.07. Earnings came up 8.50. But still, Intelia, I think investors are not impressed with Intelia. So we are seeing a huge drop, 28.49% in pre-market session. People have thrown in the towel. I think the fear of the broader market going down and what it would do to Intelia, which is still in double digits, probably is motivating this kind of a sell-off. I would definitely see a dead cat bounce for Intelia because we are far below where we should be and where we had been before. So I'm thinking that probably there could be a dead cat bounce for Intelia. But that's a personal opinion, not not a financial advice, as you guys know. I'm just a retail investor. Hot Dog is saying the Intelia patient died. Yeah, Intelia patient died. These things have happened in the past, but then the company goes into investigation and then lets FDA know whether there was some other reason for the patient to die, and that's after that you would say that that aspect is a totally bearish aspect. This is a knee-jerk reaction that has happened out here, Hot Dog. That's what I'm thinking. So there is still some hope for Intelia. There could be a dead cat bounce when that is recognized. The drop is huge. It's severe, 27.76. Of course, we need to look at the fundamentals, like what is the cash runway for Intelia and things like that. But right now, purely looking at market sentiment, MACD, the position of MACD, I would say that a little bit of consolidation or a potential dead cat bounce could be in order, except that momentum has not dropped as much as of yesterday's close. But if you look at the pre-market session, I think momentum would be somewhere in the very big bottom. It could potentially be around 26.46. So that would definitely allow for a little bit of a dead cat bounce. That's what I'm thinking out here. I might be wrong, but I wouldn't put my money onto Intelia at this stage. Caribou Biosciences is down 5.61%. We have the earnings which are due on the 11th of November. Earnings jitters perhaps, the overall market delta perhaps, but things are not looking that great. And I would say we may probably get a support at 1.86. I'll just pull this out and put it at 1.86 or 1.83. Let us go with 1.83, not to draw too fine a line. I think we are going to kiss goodbye to this cup and handle pattern. Everything is negative out here except the momentum. I suspect when the market opens, momentum will also be much lower. We are already below average. Now let's go on to look at Beam Therapeutics. It's down 2.81%. Beam is looking pretty decent compared to all the other stocks out here. It's only down 2.81% in pre-market. And we have earnings which came up on 4th of November, which were disappointing. But overall, I think Beam has managed to stabilize. They got a lot of intellectual property and licensing. So that's probably helping them a little bit, but we are definitely on our way down. I do not see any new patterns out here that could give any sense of bullishness. So I'm just going to recalibrate this chart so that for all the other charts, we can also see it a little bigger than what we see right now. So Beam, I think it will find some kind of a support today at 21.30. It has a long way to fall. Then you look at Altimmune, it's down 1.27%, still struggling below this diagonal line of resistance, and market sentiment is bearish, but it's flat. MACD is bearish but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is still above average. We had earnings that came out yesterday, and our EPS was pretty good, and revenue, of course, you don't put much value into much into this revenue projections for these kind of companies, but revenue was also pretty decent. So I'm thinking that we are going to look at a lot of consolidation for Altimmune. We don't have new bad news from FDA. We are potentially looking forward to some positive news on pemvidutide. And then you have Editas, which is down 5.20% in pre-market trades. We are absolutely bearish right now, but I don't see any new bearish patterns on the candles. But if you look at market sentiment, MACD and momentum, it's all going down. I don't think it's still down in the momentum section to warrant a dead cat bounce, but in the past on the market sentiment we have been much lower. In the past on the MACD we have been much lower. We are not yet there, so I think we could fall down further on Editas. And earnings on the 10th of November, so watch out for that. Illumina is down 1.16%. I don't see reason for Illumina to drop too much other than the delta with the market. So I think among all the genomic stocks, Illumina and I suspect PACB would be much more decent, and potentially CRISPR also should look decent. That's what I'm thinking. And if you look at where we are with regard to market sentiment, MACD and momentum, I think we are all okay. So we might probably see a few more candles form here. I would be looking forward to a bullish Bennett coming up here, and when everything drops, market will like to go for quality. At that point of time, I suppose Illumina could attract some money out there. CRISPR Therapeutics is down 3.29% yesterday. We had Vertex and Casgevy numbers were not that good, and along with the delta with the market, I think people are starting to take out some of the profits that they would have had, and we are coming down here. We are below the support of 56.37. What I need now is to watch how the candle forms out here. Are we going to stay above 53.20, and are we going to confirm 56.53 as a resistance, 56.38 as a resistance? If we confirm this as a resistance, we have a narrow range in which we can trade, and if the support continues to manifest, there could be some swing trading possibility or day trading possibility with very short window of 1 day or 2 day to make some money. Of course, it will be highly risky. Overall market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is below average. Allogene is up 3.81% in pre-market trades. We have had earnings where EPS was up 13.02% and revenue was not expected. We got a 2.5k revenue estimate, and we didn't get anything out there. 2.5k is nothing, so people don't worry about the revenue. There was a loss of 2.5k, but it doesn't matter much for these companies. There is no basis on which you can make revenue. So of course Allogene is looking much better because people are worried of much worse performance, but EPS shows that cash burn is going to be a little bit better than expected. So we are seeing a little bit of a gain out here, but the market delta will ultimately weigh it down. I would be really surprised if we close above 1.11, which is going to be a strong resistance. We could probably end up within this red candle when we close the day today. And we have Grail, which is down 2.57%. I also think that Grail will have some value. Grail should not fall down too much. Market sentiment is still bullish, even though it's going towards neutral. MACD is very bearish. Momentum is going towards below average, and probably when we close the day, we may be on average or below. Here, hi Beer Boy Dave. I'm also Beer Boy Dave. Thanks for joining me. So I'm still looking at this as a pennant formation out here. I have not thrown in the towel. The only reason I'm very bearish is because of this topping tail pattern that we have out here, which we have not closed, and the overall delta with the market. If the overall market falls, so will Grail. We may probably take this opportunity to come down further and maybe test the support at 75.38. And then we have PACB. PACB is down 2.81%. And I think for today we should get support at 1.64. PACB is starting to look weak on the candles, but if you look at the market sentiment, there is still bullishness even though it is waning. MACD is bearish and momentum is just at average. So for today, I think today is going to be a critical point, and if we go below average on the momentum as well, then I think PACB is going to be under the influence of the market delta more than Illumina, because Illumina has got a lot of money and it's a market leader for the sequencing, but same cannot be said for PACB. It's a much smaller company. It can come under the sway of the overall market. RG is down 1.27%. We have tremendous support at 26.70. Overall, the market sentiment, MACD, momentum, everything is down. So I'm thinking that this is going to show that the reverse head and shoulder is coming to fruition, and we'll have to watch for new patterns out here. The support is 26.72. That's all I can say today. I'm going to go in with Vertex, which is managing to stay above the support of 413.78. I'm happy with that. We'll see what patterns develop from here. Are we going to form a basis or a platform out here and then start moving up? That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, if MSTR break even is 75k, as we approach 75k, Bitcoin could face a lot of problems because MSTR will get a margin call or something. That's what I'm thinking. Well, let me not go into that area. Let us focus on here. Ginkgo Bioworks is down 5.58% in pre-market trades. Ginkgo doesn't have much, the market delta can bring the snake oil sentiment up, and then that can push this down regardless of all the collaborations and all those mumbo jumbo that we have out there. So I'm thinking that the next support is likely to be 10.63, we are at 10.67. If we break down below that, then I would peg the next support at $10. So that's what I'm thinking for Ginkgo Bioworks. Precision has got no trades pre-market. I would pray to God that we manage to stay above 3.64 today, and I'll be very happy with that. Eli Lilly is down 0.64%. Eli Lilly has not shown any patterns yet. I'm still seeing a long flagpole. I want to see a bullish pennant or a bull flag out here, and if I see one of those things, then I'll get bullish. But right now I don't have any trend patterns out here. I would say that we will look at some consolidation. Our RSI is already above that 70%. I would look forward to consolidation with Eli Lilly, and then I'm going into rare Ultragenics. I made a mistake holding on to Ultragenics. Ultragenics has got a support at 29.43. I'm really gratified that we went down, but we came back up again, and this diagonal line of resistance is what held us up together. So I would trust this line of resistance, and I would trust this line of support. So for today, I would say support is 29.43, and for today, I would say resistance is 31.98 for Ultragenics. Rocket, boy oh boy, I hate to look at this right now, but I'm accumulating a lot of losses with Rocket, and Rocket is continuing to go down, and it will go down further, because if you look at what we have here is we have a bear flag, and if I take this bear flag and put it at the point of the breakout, then I think we are going all the way down to 14.07. So that's my target for Rocket companies. And I think I made a mistake there. Let's go on to look at currencies. Bitcoin. Now let us talk about Bitcoin out here. Bitcoin is definitely looking very bearish to me. And if we were to look at this as a bear flag, of course, I always say that I need 5 or 6 candles to make a determination. But what we have here is two candles which are above this support, and this candle broke down. So in theory, what would happen is if we finish this candle, the next candle should close below this candle's closing. And if that happens, we would have confirmed the resistance above. So let me just quickly mark all the resistances that we have broken down below. And now the latest resistance that we have broken down below is the resistance, the support at 101.222, and that has become the latest resistance. And if we close below this, then I'll look at the next candle, and right now I'd say our support is 97,078. And info saying, I read somewhere that MSTR break even in their Bitcoin is about 75k USD. They have borrowed also a lot of money. They have borrowed money to invest in Bitcoin, and I bet they have some leverage also. Therefore, I think that it's going to be a really sad story as we approach 75k. And when the jitters start, if the jitters start when we break down 97, then I think the snowball effect could take Bitcoin down very rapidly. I've also read somewhere that big whales have been dumping Bitcoin in the billions. So all of that is adding into here. So David Best is saying game up for Ponzi Bitcoin and promise of digital currency. We have been here before with Bitcoin, David. There is something to Bitcoin, and it's not going to be totally game over, but a lot of people are going to lose their shirts. Now let me go on to a weekly pattern and see if I can see anything in Bitcoin. Let us go on to the weekly pattern. In the weekly, I'm not seeing anything in the weekly, any pattern that I can recognize. Let us go on to the monthly. Do I have any pattern that I recognize in the monthly? No, I don't. So let us watch what happens with Bitcoin. I'm going back to the daily time frame. Game up for the AI promise to rethink for humanity. Not necessarily game up, David, because investments have already been made. What happens in the market is investments that are made will be discounted by the next buyer, and as the next buyer buys it, they are in a much better position because they got all that investment at a lower price. That's how we'll actually discover the real price for the GPUs. And the second-hand GPUs which are going to be slightly inferior to the new GPUs are going to command lesser value, and that will also determine the price for the new GPU. Like the price of a second-hand car, if it withstands the market depreciation, then the price of the new car remains higher. So that's the game that we are going to see. So the new investors who are coming in with fresh dollars, they are going to buy all of this at a discount. So their balance sheet is going to look much more attractive. So that game will start playing. That's the way I'm thinking. It's not curtains down for AI, but newer players who are patient will come in. Now look at Warren Buffett. He's sitting with whole lot of billions of dollars in his hands, and he's going to look at companies which are going to be really attractive to buy, and that's how he has built the wealth. So I wouldn't put it past Warren Buffett to buy the best AI company there is at a very super discount. I remember I'm an investor in Bank of Ireland. I've been an investor in Bank of Ireland for a long time. In the days when I used to live in Ireland, I had bought that stock, and I still have that in my portfolio. Since then it had gone to 5 cents per stock, then there was a reverse split and whatnot. And now it is coming up again, and I'm still at a loss of around 18% in my portfolio. That was a huge portion of my portfolio. And Fairfax, Prem Vatsa's company, had bought a lot of stock at that point of time and bailed out Bank of Ireland. They made out like bandits because they bought at around maybe 2 cents and they sold at around 7 cents. And right now that same stock is worth around 14.93 or $15. So they made money, and after that also people made money. So people who bought afterwards, they are making money. So that's what I want to say in short. So I hope I've made my point out there. So AI is not a done deal, and neither is Bitcoin. There are new buyers for whom it will be profitable. Now let's go on to look at Ethereum. Ethereum is also going down. The hack has definitely had its mark. So we have this bull flag and we have broken down. And it's safe to say, if we take this out here and put it out here, then we are looking at a target of around 2680, and not to put too fine a point, we have a support at 2647. So I would say we can drop all the way up to 2647 if our support at 3147.51 breaks. And the chance of this support breaking is much higher because market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum went down, we had a dead cat bounce, we have this green candle, and then it's going down again. So when it goes down further, we'll have one more green candle. Probably tomorrow we may have a green candle which bounces off this support out here, and then day after tomorrow we could fall down further. I could foresee that happening. And XRP is down 1.43%. The next support is at 2.142. Friends, I changed the format today. I didn't do an intro and I came directly into technical analysis. So if you have got any stock that you want me to look at, please let me know. I'd like to do pure technical analysis sessions, and if you have any stocks, let me know. I can pick it up for you. Meanwhile, I'm going to look at MP, something that I bought and I held on to. MP is not doing very well. Their earnings has shown more than expected EPS and better than expected performance on the revenue, but not too much. The government is taking a stake in MP. So I'm thinking that ultimately we'll come out. We are due for a dead cat bounce for MP. And David is saying waiting for next banking cross when everyone has run out of money, buying the dips, the buy baby buy. Yes, buying the dips is going to be less sustainable because all the leverage funds they borrow, and the repo market kind of seems to show that banks are running out of money for commitments and they are not able to lend to each other, either because they have already put the bonds as collateral, or they don't trust each other, whatever it may be. So David Best, you may probably have a point there, and that could be another reason why we are finding that buy the dip could not be happening like it used to bail out the market before. Meanwhile, chill and marvel the madness as everyone tries to catch a falling knife. I think our friend Inf has already caught a falling knife and it is bleeding him. I hope he's able to get out in time, or at least put some calls in place Let us see. I wish the very best for Inf. I also have Meta, which I'm bleeding with, but then I have FNGD, which is negative. I have got TSLQ, which is negative. So I have got plenty of cash sitting on the sidelines to do dollar cost averaging. So I'm not as stressed out at this point of time, frankly, David. I'm simpatico with you. I think I'm waiting for the market to get worse, not better, before it gets better. So let it go down and let us cheer opportunities to buy really good stock at a lower price. I would be watching Warren Buffett's movement. Whichever share he buys, that's going to zoom immediately. Old will be on sale. Those with liquidity will reap the rewards. Yes, I'm hoping for that. Let us see. We should also be careful. I'm going to show you my lesson learned, which I'm very acutely aware of. Friends, I'm going to show you the lesson that I learned recently. I sold off and took profit on all my MACSN stocks out here, somewhere out here. And I was very thrilled about it. I was patting my own back. And then it came down. I never bought it. I never bought back. I thought this was a bear flag. That was correct. It came down. I thought this could also be a bear flag, and it came down. And I didn't buy. And I was so convinced that we are going to fall down because the fundamentals were so shitty. Like, that's around 23rd April 2025, 4 months after Donald Trump came in, all the tariff issues and everything. So I was very convinced that the fundamentals are like a dog's breakfast and things are going to fall down. But we had the buy the dip mentality and it kept on going up. AI companies pulled rabbits off their hat. Donald Trump kept on making shifty messages about tariffs and talking about a deal here, a deal there, and so on and so forth. But right now, I think even if people wanted to buy the dip, they don't have the money. It's people like us, David, that we have the money and we are sitting in the sidelines. And I'm going to still remember this lesson and try to dollar cost average a little bit earlier than I would have done. So whenever these kind of bull flags, bear flags start coming up, when they approach the 50% mark, I think I would like to dollar cost average a little bit out there. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, David Best, it has the potential to be the sale of the century, but also it has a potential to go down like this and then bounce back up. That's also a possibility. Or it could go down like this, come back here, and then come down here, and then go back up here, and I would be paralyzed. I would not know what to do. So I am thinking that if I was to consider this to be a long bull flag from here to here, if I consider this whole thing as a flagpole, then I would be thinking that 50% of this flagpole has got to be somewhere out here. So let me take a line. So this time around, I'm going to look at 6,476.58 as the midpoint of this flagpole, and I would like to start a little bit of dollar cost averaging here so that I'm not left out. That is my plan, and my dollar cost averaging will be on Meta because Meta is where I'm in the negative, and my dollar cost averaging will be on Altimmune and things like that. Yeah, the narrative has to change. Yeah, so guys, I think with that, I am done for right now, unless you have some tickers that you want me to have a look at and tell you what I think about it from a technical analysis perspective. So it will also be educational for me because I'll be looking at fresh charts to do technical analysis. Do you have anything that you want me to check when he makes the move? Did we see Netflix? Okay, let's go to Netflix. Okay, let's go to Netflix. AI, and where is Netflix? NFLX. Here you are. Netflix. Okay, what do I think about Netflix? Let us do this first. Can we do shoulder head and shoulder. No, I don't think we can do that. That is not valid. And then if we do a shoulder out here, then what could be the target for this? So we take a target from here all the way down to here, and then I pull it down and put it at the breakout point. So that gives me a target of 1108.42. Unfortunately, we were not looking at Netflix, or else we could have spotted this. That is already done and dusted. So let us remove this. Let us remove this reverse head and shoulder as well. Let me just take a second to do this. Now, what we have is a potential double top. Now, if we consider this to be a double top, then let us measure the break point. So if I assume this to be a break point, okay, I could be wrong. I'm doing a little bit of things that I have not seen before. So if we do that as a target, then the target would have been 1137.44. So let us junk that also. That's not in play. So we have a huge gap down here, and then we have this formation out here. So I will say this is a bear flag. Now I will draw this bear flag out here. I'm just thinking out aloud, okay? So I'll draw this bear flag, and it went down. So let us say this is a breakdown from here. Then I can pull this out from here and take the flagpole and say we have a target of 971.50. And to support this target, I would say that we have market sentiment which is bearish, MACD which is bearish, and momentum which is below average. And we have the stock splits coming up, and we'll see what happens after that. This is all I got, my friends. I am on the buy the dip slowly. Thanks, Inf. I agree with that. I agree with that. It's a question of when we buy it. Okay, then I'm done. Let us finish the day, and I'll catch up with you again next. And look forward to my video on Tesla and executive compensation. I think it's very grotesque, the fact that it got passed. Even the courts had said no for the much lesser, comparatively much lesser pay award last time. So go figure it out. Fanboys will be fanboys. Have a great weekend, guys. I'll catch up with you again next.